G'day everyone, we've just pulled up on one of the most beautiful beaches I think I've ever been to. This is just about an hour and a half south of Perth, and there is some epic looking spots here. We're going to be fishing for sharks, Samson fish, snapper, dewfish, maybe a few whiting and tailor as we go. But yeah, we are absolutely kitted up for all the stuff today. We've got a kayak to paddle out the shark bait. I've got my Aeroo Pro, which you can see at the back of the car, to fly out everything else. And yeah, like that water out there looks insanely deep. Based on the depth checker, it's roughly 10 meters, about 300 meters out. So we should be so incredibly set to get some fish today. So stay tuned, and hopefully I can get you guys some content. Alright guys, it's nearly 5 PM. We've got the drone set up here on the droning combo. We've got about 500 meters of line on there. Got the drone set up ready to go. Down here, our first bait that we have is actually on a little bit of wire, just in case there's some small sharks out there. Just a big mullet chunk, hoping that there's some tiny sharks, but we don't really know what's going to happen. On the second bait, we've got the snapper slash mulloway slash Samson. Got a little herring. So yeah, we're going to get this sent out now. Drop it maybe 400 meters that way. Hooked an absolute monster. I'm getting spooled. Hooked an absolute monster. I wish you guys could have seen that first initial run, but that was insane. I just lost about maybe 40 meters of line. There is some big head shakes on that. I've got a good feeling it's a snapper. Darian, big fish. Very big fish. Oh, I just lost it.
And for the next week, that's all the action we had. Until the full moon ticked around and we decided to do a full send to give the beach a night fish, which just could not have turned out any better. I won't spoil anything just yet, but stick around. Trust me, it'll be worth it.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck, but we made it to the spot. Oh, yeah, we're definitely stuck. All right, we're here. We're gonna get some baits out. I'll film an intro after that because it's getting dark and you can't fly at night. But yeah, we are here. There has been some epic action in the past few days in this spot. So let's get into some fish. All right, what have we got in here? A couple of herring. That is a monster. Wow. All right.
That's what I said, it's huge.
Yeah. Let me grab that half there, or that probably first third. And then on the second bait, might do this back bit. Massive fat sea mullet here. Quick fillet off him. There we go. That is the last bait. One here at the top, which is more of the bait keeper. And then this one here down at the bottom is what's designed to hook the fish. There we are. We'll get that bait cottoned up and then we'll get it out there. Alright, you don't want to put too much cotton on your baits, but I'm just doing enough to hold it on if there is a few little picker fish out there. So, you know, enough to the point where the bait does get a little bit thinner. Makes it a little bit more bite-sized. Make sure there's no scales in the way of your hooks here. Perfect, that's pretty much it. A few tight ones to get it wrapped on. To the next bait. Alright, up here we have a pilchard on a set of gangs. Just going to be wrapping even the tail, yes, just to hold it together. And then we're going to be going up onto the gangs, making sure not to cover any hook points. Just again, to hold it on, because pilchards are such soft fish. You do really want to make sure that your hooks are on there good. Alright, that bait's fine. This one, herring is a lot fleshier, so it does stay on the hook better, but you still want to give it a few little wraps. What I like to do is get my hook planted, stick the hook point up where I want it, and then start the cottoning of the hook. Then if you grab the shaft and sort of fix it in place, then the hook does get a little bit more exposed, which is obviously ideal. Come up here to the top hook, and then we're good to get the drone ready. Too easy, let's go. Turn the drone on. Wonderful. Enter her in. Now I'll go grab some bait. Alright, bait is on. Make sure there's no tangles here. Under one leg, under the other. Let's go. All right, guys, ready to get this first drone up. Let's go. Nice and slow on the way up there. Don't want to take anyone out with a sinker. Quickly go up a little bit higher. I like to drop from about 20 meters. Way up there. All right, time to go. All right, so when I was here the other day, we had some awesome hookups. We're gonna get it go straight to the other spot. Speed, nice and slow. I like to only go about 1.8. 20 meter drop point, let's go. And then that Aeroo will take it already to the drop point that we have saved, which is by far my favorite Aeroo feature. Because the other day, the fish were that insane. Something like this is absolutely the way to do it. Still plenty of light, can still see the drone just fine. The laws here in Australia do say that you have to see your drone to be able to fly. So stuff like this is absolutely perfect. I reckon I'll get that rod out and then we might paddle the shark bait. As you can see here, guys, we're nearly at the drop point. We're getting really, really close, and as we get there, the Aeroo will drop it automatically. Alrighty, guys, still got a good bit of visibility here, so we're going to be taking this bait out. Alright, that one's ready to go. Take her up, and I'll drop it really, really close to the next one, but hopefully not too close. Let's make sure I'm not getting any tangles over here. Yep, we're good. Oh, taking a little bit of weed with me. There we go. Alright, up she goes. Alright, got this last bait at about 220 meters. We'll get it dropped down. That is the wrong button. We'll get it dropped down. Perfect. Alright, give that a few winds and we'll get the drone back in. Alright guys, with the tiny 8 knot winds, what we're going to do is we're just going to throw the bait past the waves and then give it 30 minutes to balloon out there. Not going to be getting out very far with these tiny little balloons, but it is a massive big stingray chunk, which Darian has been kind enough to set up for me. But that is a big bait. Going out on an 18-0 hook. Let's get it out there. Alright guys, first hook up of the night here. This is on the bait, the second one that we dropped. It's about 200 and something meters out. It's, I'm assuming something pretty decent. We're just going to come back up here so you guys can see a little bit. It's pulling a little bit of drag, and we do have some pretty tight drag on this. Oh, you guys can't see much at all. Alright, hoping that's a little bit better. This fish is a little over 200 meters out, so it's going to be quite the fight on it, but definitely feels alright. I'm hoping a little snapper, a mulloway, or ideally a Samson. Oh, Darren, can you get that weed quick? Quick, quick, quick. Oh, thank you. Hopefully a Samson fish, that'd be the absolute peak, but we really can never tell when you're drone fishing when they're so far away. So we're hoping that he comes in relatively easy without getting snagged on a rock or something out there. Because this beach is very, very shaly, which is the reason we chose it. Just so much structure for the fish to hold on. And yeah, we've been here 15 minutes and already hooked up. As you can tell, the sun's barely set. Oh, he's putting up a little bit of weight there in the waves. This might be something alright. Definitely got some good weight on it there. I'm guessing a snapper. I've been trying to tick a snapper off for a long time, so fingers crossed we can get it in. Whoa. Nah, it's already crossed, man. Already all tangled, I think. Alright, yeah, line's done. He'd be in those waves, I can imagine. Whoa. Might be a little shark or something with the way that's behaving. Starting to think a little shark. What is that? I can't even tell. Yeah, shark. Quick, get up in the wave. Yeah, little shark. Yeah, grab the rod, please. Thank you. Oh my! Oh my god! Oh! Yes! Dude! That's like a 90 centimeter snapper! Yes! Darian! Holy oh my god! Guys, I've done it! I've gotten the snapper! I am so stoked right now. I don't know how well you guys can see during that, but my god, that's like a 90. There is no words to describe how happy I am right now. That's by far the best fish I've caught off the beach. Alright, Darian, let's get a look at this thing. My God.
Absolute monster.
That's at least 90, has to be.
Mate. Well, we had a feeling today. Might have been the, not the best to get
Thank
here.
you so much for pointing that rod out, dude.
Oh, you
Couldn't have
good,
done that
man.
without you. There is no words to describe the joy that I've got right now. I've put so much time into these things while I've been in Perth. Wow, that is a big snapper. This thing's very, very fat because we pulled it out of that much water. But it's got the big classic snapper knob head on it for bashing its head against rocks and coral its whole life. Actually threw up a small little octopus or squid as we were pulling it in. But that is massive. Without the Aeroo drone, I couldn't have done that. Have you ever been around a fish that big, mate? That's massive. Alright guys, this thing, we got the face pretty close. Oh, there we go, face on the edge like that. There's an 82.5 WA snapper off the beach using the Aeroo Pro, which this fish bit so fast we haven't even had time to get the drone away. Wow, now I've just got to hope that other rod goes off. Well guys, I don't know if you could tell when I landed that fish, but I was absolutely stoked. I've spent that much time trying to get a snapper off the beach here in Perth. I did a few sessions in SA off the boat where I wasn't even lucky enough to get a snapper over 30, but it's probably like my second time fishing this spot, I think. And we dropped out to the reef where we hooked a bunch of big stuff last time. And yeah, within 10 minutes, the rod was just slightly bent over. And then, yeah, the entire way in, I thought it was tiny, but we pulled it up. Biggest snapper I've ever caught by about 20-something centimeters. So I'm stoked. I could not be happier. Now, in the meantime, we have the shark bait and 2 last drone baits out. Obviously, we had to retire this one behind me because of how dark it is. But yeah, we're gonna wait. Hopefully, they get eaten tonight. So yeah, fingers crossed. Well, that's one of the best things I've ever caught off the beach. I'm gonna give it a quick fillet. I wish I had my scales still to give it a weigh, but you know, that's I think a 50 centimeter bucket, and obviously the tail goes way past that. So that's a very, very big fish. Very, very big.
As far as the filleting process goes, I actually completely forgotten to sharpen my knife after using it on the rock wall the other day, and it was so incredibly blunt because that's what I was using for bait. So I ended up having to finish it off with my pocket knife, which I must say wasn't great, but I did end up getting a really, really good fillet off it, and the fish tasted amazing. So in a second, you'll see me cook it up.
This here is what that snapper has spat up. So that is I believe a little whiting there. We also have an octopus tentacle, which I think's really cool. And I don't quite know where it's gotten off to, but there was a little pufferfish in there, which I think is really cool. I've seen pufferfish in flathead before, but never in snapper. So I might have to give some little puffers a go, but I'm not quite sure where it's gotten off to. But yeah, pufferfish and an octopus. How cool is that? Well, it's a few days after I got that massive snapper, but here we are to cook it up for you guys. We're going to make some beautiful fish burgers, which is one of my favourite ways to eat fish. We have everything ready. We've got the panko crumbs, the mayo, the oil, the eggs, and probably a fifth of the snapper. There was so much meat on that thing. Without any further ado, we'll get this thing running, and hopefully we can get a beautiful burger cooked up. Alright, so we've got the bags of fish here. We've got just an absolute ton of chunks. We're going to quickly crack an egg into this bag and let it sit for a little bit while we wait for the oil to hook up, just to bind those panko crumbs. Quick crack, break it off in there, too easy. Alright, crumbs going on the plate, ready to get nice and breaded up. Alright, let's see if this is ready. Yeah, nice and hot. Alright, get one a little bit breaded up here. We've got some big chunks and some smaller chunks without spilling too much panko. Try and get that in there. So, one in. A little bit more. And number 2. Alright, we're good to go. I seem to have forgotten to splice this up a little bit, but we'll get it in there. Massive piece. Alright, a few of the smaller pieces are done. I seriously completely forgot to cut that big one up. So that one's going to take a little bit, but these smaller pieces are definitely getting there. There we go. Alright, we've got one ready. It's a little fragile, but there we go. Onto the drying rack. Alright, burgers are ready. We are getting ready for some food here. I'm absolutely starving, very excited for these. Alright, first burger is getting constructed. I'm going to do one of these massive chunks, which honestly I probably should have cut down a little bit, and then a few smaller pieces, leave enough for 2 or 3 burgers there. And then I'm going to get creepy mayo. Can't be eating fish without mayo, right? It's the best way to have a fish burger. Just a smidge, alright, just a smidge of mayo. Alright, it's a little bit thick, but it should do. That is a good burger. With this big bit, we've cooked it to perfection. It is so crunchy. One of the best ways to have fish, for sure. Getting cracking on number 2. It's kind of ejecting it a little bit, but it's alright. Very, very, very good burgers. Well, that was a really, really good burger, and what a great way to end it with that massive snapper turning into a really good meal. I haven't done a catch and cook in a long time, but they're definitely some of my favourite videos to produce. So if you want to see anything else, just let me know, anything else that you want me to cook up. But yeah, that was so much fun getting that snapper the other day. But yeah, finishing it off in a scenic location. Anything else you want to see, just let me know, but thanks for watching. Clean your rubbish up.